What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Jean-Jacques Taylor, going live, talking about the Cowboys. Do you like my backdrop? At some point, maybe we'll get some people in here. I'll let it go for a little while, see if anybody's coming. Not enough warning, perhaps. Yo, y'all caught me with my head down looking. I'll let a few more people get up in here, see what's going on. If you got questions, holler at me. Let me see, did I do that right? I'm trying to. Normally Matt does this, so now I'm trying to figure out if you got somebody shoot me a question so I can see if I'm looking at it right. All right, I'm here. You got any questions about your Dallas Cowboys? You know, I had some technical difficulties earlier today. Where are my questions at? And the problem was I was not logged on properly. So I figured today we'd cover a few issues, a few burning questions. Now I'm interested. Y'all down with the whole tanking situation? Because I'm not really down with it. I find I'm all about the culture and whether the culture is. I think it matters whether you're playing to win. Not that your players don't play to win, but whether they feel like the organization is not playing to win, because that could cause some real problems down the road for you if the team believes that the organization is not committed to winning. Hold up, let me see. Is this it? Of course, I'm trying to figure out if anybody sent me a message. Then I can know if my chat thing is working. As we sit here, you like my backdrop? But anyway, Cowboys right now, 2-7. This season is lost. It's all about player development to me, where you end up with the draft picks, and to see if you can do something that sets you up nicely for the future. Because this season is a wrap. I wrote a column yesterday. I say I was being honest about the Cowboys, and my whole thing was that the Cowboys have fallen into this deal where, I mean, don't y'all remember when it used to be Super Bowl or bust, where if the Cowboys weren't real Super Bowl contenders, there was some disappointment in the season, and that's what we all expected, and that's what they tried to do, and that's what they were going for. Well, it seems to me that things have changed, and that now it's a situation where, now I understand. In high school, you play hard, okay, that's cool. But I got to tell you, you don't get no credit for playing hard in the NFL. I mean, you making 7 digits in a lot of cases, at least 6 digits. I think the minimum salary is 500,000 or so. You're supposed to play hard. You don't get no credit for playing hard. I always say it reminds me of when you are when dads sit up there and say, "Hey, I watched my kids this weekend and they won a gold star." Like, those are your kids. You don't get no credit for watching your kids. Or they say, "I babysat my kids this weekend." You can't babysit your own kids. All right, it just comes with the territory. They're yours, so you watch them however long you need to watch them. So I was a little disappointed with the Cowboys because it seems to me that they're taking this whole moral victories thing. Now, they would deny this, but all I'm going to sit here and tell you, after the Pittsburgh, there was a whole lot of, we didn't, y'all thought we were going to get blown out, or we played it tight and it was a close game. We almost won and we hung with Pittsburgh. And the reality is, we died with moral victories now. I don't think so. I think it's a situation where the Cowboys were in control of the game. double-digit lead headed into the fourth quarter. They led most of the fourth quarter. And then they did the things that bad teams do, and that's why they wound up losing. But, I mean, I don't think you get credit for just hanging with Pittsburgh. It's just me. Maybe y'all want to give them credit. The other part of that situation is, there needs to be a little more anger. And maybe they're kind of resigned to what this season is. But I saw it. When I'm looking at the game, I'm just like, Jerry and Steven got to take a real hard look at this team. And it can't just, this whole thing, like, it just can't be, hey, everything's going to be okay. This is disappointing. Nah, bruh. I mean, is it really the injuries? Is it really COVID? Or is it deeper than that? Because there's some other teams with high expectations that haven't gotten slapped with COVID and failed. And so I think you just have to answer the question about it. And they have to be honest with themselves. I called them a team in disarray. And if you think about it, I'm not taking shots at them because they're down right now. But if you think about it, they are kind of in disarray. Think about this. What are they going to do at quarterback? You don't know because they're in disarray. They got a really good quarterback. Okay, you can be on Team Dak or you can not be on Team Dak. You can't deny he's a really good quarterback. Okay? Is he a great quarterback? I don't think so. But is he really good? Is he a notch below that? Yes. Some of y'all sit up here and you get upset because you go, well, he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Drew Brees. Okay, those are first ballot Hall of Fame quarterbacks. There's something between being a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback and a spare. So Dak is not a spare. He's a good quarterback. All right? A really good quarterback. Now, salary cap floor next year, $175 million. He's supposed to count 37.7 if he signs a franchise tag again. Now, I don't have to do a whole lot of math to figure out that that's a little bit more than 25%, right? Or right around there. It's way too much for your quarterback. So, can the Cowboys get him signed to a deal? And some of y'all, maybe you thought coming off that fractured ankle and the dislocation, the Cowboys would get him for a lower price. Not if you've seen what the Cowboys offense has done without Dak. Price ain't going to be no lower. He's going to command what he commands for that position. So they're going to have to pay it, or they have to get rid of him and find another quarterback. And some of y'all will sit up here and go, oh, great. Tank for Trevor. Justin Fields is there. The kid from North Dakota State is there. Yeah, lots of quarterbacks available. Now, I got to tell y'all, you should know that doesn't mean that those guys will be good. We see first-round busted quarterback all the time. All the time. It doesn't matter if you get Justin Fields. Doesn't matter if you get Trevor Lawrence, although I don't think the Jets are going to lose enough games for the Cowboys to get him. It doesn't matter. You're not guaranteed that the quarterback that you think you're going to get is going to be any better than Dak Prescott. And if you do get a quarterback, you'll be hoping he's as good as Dak Prescott. That's just the reality of it. So you got that situation, the quarterback quandary. And it's a quandary for real. Now, I got to ask you, what about Zeke Elliott? Now, y'all know, I'm a buck out till I die. Zeke Elliott, averaging, I think, somewhere around 16 and a half carries for 60-something yards and 3.9. And so what you got to figure out if you're the Cowboys, again, these are hard questions you got to answer. Okay, is Zeke done? I mean, you got to ask the question. I don't think he is, but you got to ask the question. On tape, what do you see? Do you see the burst? Do you see the acceleration? Is he done? You got to ask the question because he's 25 years old. Most running backs fall off a cliff at 28. Now he's 25, so he should still have 2 or 3 more productive years. But you got to watch it because he's such a physical runner. Maybe his decline has started sooner. Okay, that's just the question you have to ask. And then you got to get the answer. And then you have to ask yourself, is it the offensive line? Because we all know it ain't no good right now. John Oney of the Dallas Morning News studies film. He's that guy up there studying the all-22 all the time. He's that guy. And so he's I'm convinced before I go on to John Oney that my questions ain't. I'm sure somebody's got a question, and I don't see them, so I need to figure out how that works. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about this while I continue to try to figure this out because I'm hitting live chat, so they should come up. But anyway, John Oney had his tape of a great block by Zach Martin. All right, he was running off right tackle. Great block by Zach Martin. Everybody had done their job. There's a hole about this wide about to open up. Zeke has hit it. He's going through. Terrence Steele doesn't block anybody. Everybody else is accounted for. Terrence Steele doesn't get his guy. Doesn't put a hand on him. I'm being honest here, and I'm not taking shots. I'm not sure he even saw his guy. All right? And Zeke got dropped for a 2-yard loss. And all I could think of on that particular play was it's supposed to go for about 15 or 20. That's how good it's blocked because everybody else is cleared out the way. Terrence Steele misses his block, so it's a -2. And that's why Zeke is averaging 3.9 yards per carry. So you got to figure out, is Zeke descending or is the offensive line not good enough to allow him to do what he does best? Those are real questions. And one of the things about it is when you talk about Zeke. See, a lot of people were not Zeke proponents. You got this great offensive line. Why put Zeke behind there? You can get anybody to run behind this offensive line. I said, and that was my opinion at the time, if you got a great running back behind a great line, you might be able to make some great things happen. That makes sense to me. All right. So that rookie year, 1,600 yards. Okay, great things happen. Next year, he averaged 98 yards a game. Next year, he averaged 94 yards a game. But the offensive line has declined, and his production has declined. This year, he's averaging career lows in yards per game, 65, carries per game, 16, average per carry, 3.9. And this is a what have you done for me lately league. So folks don't really care why you're not getting it done. They just know you ain't getting it done, and we got you down for 90 million. And this is why these are tough questions that the Cowboys got to answer. They just are. The other question they have is a guy like Tyron Smith. Okay, Tyron Smith, I know it seemed like he's like 35 years old. Tyron Smith is 30 years old. He's been playing 10 years. But check this out. He's missed at least 3 games in each of the last 4 seasons. This season, he's missing 14 games. I just asking the question. Would any of y'all be shocked if Tyron Smith did like Travis Frederick? My body's beat up. Now I'm having neck surgery. My back's been bad for 3 or 4 years. I'm going to take it to the house. I'm done. I'm going to retire and wait for the call to the Hall of Fame, which eventually will come. I don't think that will happen. But I asked you, would you be shocked if it did? I mean, Travis Frederick retired last year. I think that caught us by surprise. This could too. And so there's just question after question after question that has to be answered when it comes to the Cowboys and their future. Because we're talking about a franchise, okay, 24 years without a trip to the NFC Championship game. Only teams with longer stretches in the NFC, Raggedy, Rudy Poot, Washington, and Raggedy, Rudy Poot, Detroit. That's it. Those are the dregs that your Dallas Cowboys hang with right now. But I got to tell you, to me, it's worse that you haven't had consecutive, back-to-back, double-digit win seasons since 95, 96. I mean, my goodness. There's no consistency with this organization. That's why 2 years ago we thought they were headed to a Super Bowl run, and instead they went from 10-6 to 8-8 to whatever they go this year. And I got to tell you, I don't know where the dubs are coming from. Maybe y'all do. I don't know where the dubs are coming from. And I'll get to that in just a second because I think it's an interesting conversation. But another guy, which you got to ask your question about Jalen Smith. Now, he's one of the league leaders in tackles. I don't care. Here's why. I don't care about tackles at one level, man. The game's about making impact. Game's about making plays. And he hadn't made enough impact. They signed him to that big deal because they thought he was going to be one of the best linebackers in the league. He was coming off a Pro Bowl caliber season. Year 3, he was outstanding. He hasn't been that good since then. And so you just gotta, he's not the guy they thought they were signing. He's been okay. He's not been bad, but he's not been that difference maker, not been that guy. And that's who they thought they were signing. So it makes you wonder how quick they will be to move out of that deal. So let's talk about the wins. Like they're 2-7 right now. I don't know where the wins are coming from. Okay, I just don't. Now they played better against Pittsburgh. I'm not going to say that they didn't. Is that something that they can continue to do? Because you know what Minnesota's doing when they play them in a couple of weeks. I mean, next week after the bye. Dalvin Cook gonna get about 27 carries. He's averaging about 150 yards or something like that over his last 4 games. I know he's had one for more than 200. He had another one for like 163. If they can't stop the run, and they hadn't all year up until last week, and I got to be honest with you, James Conner ran 6 times for 21 yards. Let me just ask y'all the question. Just answer the question. Do you think Pittsburgh really tried to run the ball? Because I don't think they tried to run the ball. I think Pittsburgh said, hey, they can't match up with us when we spread it out. And so we'll spread them out, throw the ball, take advantage of the weakness. Because I don't think they tried to run it with James Conner. That's why he only had 6 carries. They will try to run it with Dalvin Cook. I think Cowboys will be hard-pressed to stop him. Where the wind's coming from? They got Washington again. Washington owned them up front, and that's why they beat them so badly a couple weeks ago. I don't know what's going to change about that. Zach Martin will play. He didn't play in the last game, so maybe that's the difference. But their defensive line is just better than the Cowboys' offensive line. Makes it hard to sustain drives. Cincinnati. See, if we're already in Cincinnati in December, because they've also got a game against the Ravens. Cincinnati, man, in December, I think, will be a team that's energized by the play of the first-round draft pick. The first pick taken overall, the quarterback out of LSU. And I think that he will ignite them and that they will be so buoyed by the future that's a game that they win, because the Cowboys, I think, will be beaten down by the expectations that they didn't fulfill. Think about that. One team buoyed by its future, another team beaten down by its expectations. That's how I see that game going. And so if I can be honest with you, I think they might get to 4 wins. That's a big might, man. They might get to 4. I think San Francisco might be one they can get, because San Francisco might have the same beat-down mentality that they have. Here's the problem, though. San Francisco is a terrific running team. If Dallas hadn't solved his running woes, San Francisco will exploit them, and Kyle Shanahan, the coach, will just make all kind of mismatches that make running the ball easy for his team. So I think that's a problem. And then they end the season with the Giants, and you go, well, hell, they'll win that one. I don't know, man. Jason Garrett on that staff. Does Joe Judge really feel like the kind of coach who's like, yeah, this is week 16, let's mail it in? No. And, their quarterback, Daniel Jones, he may be playing for something like his job. And so I think they'll be ready to play. And plus, the Giants have been playing better football. They've been losing 1- and 2-point games. They've been losing games where they had leads. So you tell me where you think the Cowboy dubs are coming from, because I got to tell you, I don't see a lot of them. I see 4 at the most. I don't mind being wrong. I really don't. So if they can win more than that, that's great. But I see them winning 3 or 4 games, man, having a top 5 pick. And then that begs the question, what do you do with that top 5 pick? If it were me, the way teams are quarterback hungry, I know y'all would be like, take the quarterback. Like, nah, you already know what you have in Dak. Sign Dak to a long-term deal. Trade that pick for multiples, drop down to 7 or 8, where you can still get an elite corner, a defensive lineman, or a left tackle, and then, start from scratch and let those draft picks build your future. Because right now, future's sketchy. Cowboys' window of opportunity, smaller by the day. This would infuse some life into the organization with some young guys, elite draft picks, elite players, and maybe that'd be enough to take care of them. So it's all the time I have for now. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to figure out this chat thing, and I'm going to try to talk to you guys on a much more regular basis. Do you enjoy the backdrop here? They call it a step and repeat. It's kind of fancy. It's my media company, JJT Media Group and Jam Session Podcast. Check out www.jjtmediagroup.com. We write stories about people's journeys in life. We'd love to write yours. Check us out, because everybody's got a story. Everybody really does. And everybody's stories matters. And we at the JJT Media Group, we'd love to tell your story. So check us out. Until next time, y'all take care.